welcome Rossoneri fans out there. It's Luke and Shady here for your Rossoneri Roundup podcast this week. How's it going, Shady?
Hey Luke, hi everyone. Hope everyone's well.
So, not much has happened over the last week. We've had a game against Nice. I believe you can talk a little bit about that, Shady. And then really, as always, transfer speculation. Nothing's happened really. Lots of talk out of Milan, but nothing happening. So anyway, before we get to that, the game against Nice. What did you think? What did you see?
It looked good. I mean, I watched the highlights to be honest, and watched the full game live. So from the highlights, at least, it seemed okay. Giroud headed in a goal with his first touch, basically. Milan looked okay. The team looked all right overall, but again, there's only so much you can deduce from highlights. And at this stage, there's only so much you can deduce from a preseason friendly anyway. So yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary to talk about really from my end. Just solid performance, but nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. Well, I think we've still got 3 games to go, 2 games to go in those preseason games, 3 I think, before the season starts. So hopefully we start building some momentum, because we know last season we started off very well, and you could credit a lot of that to those early games in the preseason. So they do have some importance, I think. Over the week, as I said before, not much news, but I guess one thing is that Milan, it's kind of becoming clear that we do have a wish list of 5 positions we want to fill. The first is a deputy right back. The next is a 4th choice midfielder. The next is a new right winger. The next, an attacking midfielder. And finally, a young 3rd choice striker. Obviously, the right wing and the attacking mid are 2 pretty hot. You know, they're hot on the press. We desperately need them. What do you think about those 5 wish list items, positions to fill?
I'm not sure really that we need a deputy right back. I mean, Kalulu's there. And Conte, have we offloaded Conte officially? He came back from his loan from Parma, right? But is he off the books officially? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Conte's, I think he's gone. I think from what's coming out, Castillejo and Conte are the 2 to go at the moment, and they don't really have a place in the future. So yeah, I don't think he's in the plans at the moment.
True, but Kalulu's still there, isn't he? So I mean, if it's Kalulu and Calabria, then I'm not sure what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure how pressing both a deputy right back and a 4th midfielder are.
Yep.
I agree with the other 3 positions you mentioned.
Yep.
And even with the 3rd striker, that baffles me that we had Colombo, who he was there. He's Milan through and through. He could have easily just stayed on this season under the tutelage of, as we said before, Ibrahimovic and Giroud, and they're not going to be able to play all the games anyway, 40 and 35-year-olds. He'd get games, and he looks, I mean, as a 3rd choice striker, I'd keep him, I'd take him. I mean, so that one really confuses me, that we actually just loaned him out to, was it Spal? I think Spal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, but yeah, okay, so now we need a 3rd choice striker. But yeah, obviously right wing and attacking midfielder, those are the ones that we really, really need more than anything.
Absolutely. I think the deputy right back is because the Dalot deal is looking like it's not going to happen. And yes, the Kalulu, sorry. He is there, but if we think back to last season, there was that patch where we were missing a few players in the back line, and Kalulu had to fill in, and we just started to get quite thin. So I think that a bit more depth in that area is definitely needed, especially if we're losing Caldara and Dalot on top of what's happening. It only takes a few injuries to get into a bit of strife. And then the fourth midfielder, I actually agree that we do need one, because at the moment, as you said, we do have Kessie, Benacer, Tonelli, Pobega, and Krunic. But in early January, the African Cup of Nations, African Cup happens, and we lose Benacer and Kessie, obviously. And then, as we've seen, only a few injuries can put us in a bit of a sticky situation again. So I think more depth is definitely needed with this squad, and you just get the feel that we're unfortunately leaving a few of these things too late, and that transfer window is going to slam shut on us before we can fill all these positions, because not really much has happened yet, and a lot is to come.
Look, you make some valid points there, man. I'm not disagreeing with you. You do make some valid points. So I guess, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying in terms of priorities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those should not be our priorities right now.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, they should be like last on the list, really, for the way I see it. I'd look towards who I've got in the Primavera. I'd look towards all of that.
Yeah.
If it's only a handful of games that Kessie and Benacer will be missing, I'd look towards that, or maybe leave it like a last minute, not last minute, but like as a last option. After I've filled those gaping holes up front in the team, you've got clear issues. We have clear issues with creativity, and we struggled to break teams down at San Siro last season. I think the attacking midfield is a trequartista, and plus, I mean, obviously a right winger. I mean, with Salamakers perhaps as a deputy, we need to address those issues. But I mean, the way it's so that's point. That's one point. The second issue with it being late, I agree with you definitely on paper, but let's remember how what was it called, Condor season with Galliani towards the end of the transfer market. He'd always managed to snap one thing or another up, and Maldini has been nicknamed the new Condor. So we'll see. I think we've got a couple of tricks up our sleeve, but I agree with you. We are leaving it dangerously late.
Yeah, and that is what's coming out, that Maldini thinks that there's a few deals that will happen quite late, and there'll be those steals that you spoke about. I just get worried that the only players left will be players that aren't, perfectly suited to the club and what we need. Rumors coming out about Aaron Ramsey. I don't know. To be honest, that name doesn't really excite me too much. I don't think you win leagues with him playing a pivotal role. But could he be a player that we have to, that everyone else, all of those deals dry up and he's one of the last to come? Who knows? And Gazidis with the Arsenal link. I just wouldn't. I would hate to see some things like that happen where we're forced to get players that we don't necessarily want or need.
I agree with you. I think, that being said, though, I think to a small extent we are unfortunately having to look at options like that because of the financial situation in general.
Yeah.
And one example is the fact that we're pretty much selling Hauge, so almost a done deal, to Frankfurt, just to provide some liquidity, just to provide some basically a cash injection to the club. Now, how on earth we're selling Hauge before Castillejo is something that makes me scratch my head. The kid's Hauge is super young, heaps potential, and he could really, given a good run in the team, he could really make an impact on either wing. It disappoints me that we're letting go of him. I mean, I know that some players don't work out for some teams, and that's fine. At Milan, we've had plenty of examples of that. But the thing is, Hauge was never given a good run. I mean, even the most recent example being when he came on, was it the Sampdoria game when he came on and he scored the equalizer at San Siro, the 1-0? Was that Doria, or was it someone else? I don't remember.
Yeah.
We had a home game when he came on and he looked really dangerous, scored the equalizer. And then he didn't get another. I mean, he didn't get any more game time. So for a young player like that, adapting to a new culture, new league, surely there has to be psychological aspect to dealing with him, of encouragement, of
Yeah.
and that obviously wasn't there for him this season. I don't know what's happening in training. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I know coaches see things we don't, definitely.
Yeah.
But it just seems like he wasn't given a fair chance, to be honest. All the best to him, and I'm sure Pioli and management have their reasons, I'm sure. But just from the outside, I am upset to see him go like this so soon, so abruptly, and without being given a fair chance. If that means we'll be able to make more signings, that's great. But I don't want to see all of this blowing over, and then at the end of the day, Castellero's here next season, and we've signed some bit part player for the attacking midfield. We don't have a strong squad going into the season.
Yeah, it's completely a shame that we're letting him go. I think it definitely has to be something that's purely economic. That we, the whole thing about you buy him for 5 and then you sell him for 12 or 13, as opposed to players that you bought around the same price that you want to sell, which I assume would be a similar thing with Castillejo probably. That we're really struggling to get, I think, the 8 that we want for him. It's a real shame because, as you said, he was a player with enormous potential and talent. And whether that was a thing that Pioli was kind of told a few months ago that he wasn't going to be in the long-term future of Milan or not, I'm not sure. But it did seem like in those last few months, there were games that we could have played him that he didn't come on for, or came on when he could do nothing. So, yeah, it's a shame. But anyway, if I guess it's him that we have to lose, I'd rather lose him than other more important players. Caldara's pretty much gone to Venezia. I don't think there's much we can say about that. He never really had a good run with us, unfortunately. He was, meant to be top talent when he was younger, but it just never came together for him, unfortunately. So good luck to him, but he moves on. Kier is meant to re-sign. So I think he's a real catalyst for us in what we did last season. So it'll be good to have that. He's a real leader back in the squad and committing longer term.
He is. He's a good player, great player, a great influence on and off the pitch, and a leader. There's no downside to his renewal risk.
Absolutely. I guess just to kind of finish off it, I'm just nervous that we're going to have kind of a budget version of our squad last season, which already, it's not like we were filled with superstars. That's kind of my one worry at the moment. Would you agree?
Oh, it's a worry, but I don't think we've lost. Let's see how we end the window. Let's see how we end this mercato, and then have a talk about that. Right now, no. We haven't really. Gigio's been leaving the club for 2 years now. It's been the slowest exit ever.
Yeah.
And Çalhanoğlu, he's basically joined the sinking ship. So I don't expect Inter to be doing well at all next season in Serie A.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons, but one of the main ones being they sold the 2 best players, or they're on the verge of saying the Lukaku now, which will be the second best player after Hakimi. So I don't know. I think we're okay for now, but let me put it this way. Once the mercato's over and we've brought in all the new players, then I'll give you my 2 cents. Not that's worth it, but I'll give you my 2 cents on where our squad stands. Realistically, though, we should be fighting for the title this season, and hopefully looking to get out of our group and see how we go in the knockout stages of the Champions League.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, last question, Isco. What do you think? We haven't spoken about him.
Yeah. If we can get his demands down, I think he was on a crazy salary, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's holding us back.
Yeah, he's a tad inconsistent though.
Yeah,
that's my problem so far with the playmakers we've been linked with: Isco, James Rodriguez. very injury prone and inconsistent. Really good, real bowlers, if you will.
Yeah.
But will they survive a season? No, I don't think so. So I want something. I don't know. Not that enthusiastic for that reason alone, but generally speaking, yeah, he's really good. He's a real good talent.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's all we got, I think.
Yeah, let's keep it short and sweet this week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll speak to you all soon. Or, you'll hear from us next week. And yeah, as always, Forza Milan, and see you then.
Cheers, mate. Forza Milan. See you all next week.
Gotta